So we are on week 2, and that means we're going to integrate Tailwind to the app, and then we're going to talk about redesigning the app. And the redesigning is mainly because we are thinking of adding AI features to the app, as well as the initial design that we had wasn't necessarily the best. Like we could do better, let me put it that way. And we were able to identify some of the ways we could do it better. So I think it's only best that we work on that, like try and improve and improve that. So, but before we go to our agenda for today, let's review what we were supposed to do as an assignment last week for last week. So we're supposed to do research on some of the AI features that we can add on the app. So the app is a very simple to-do list application. It's supposed to allow you to create tasks, and then within the tasks, you can create subtasks. And you can also delete the tasks and or mark them as complete, same as subtasks. When you delete a task, it automatically soft deletes, meaning it goes to the trash first, and then from there you can decide to delete permanently, or you can decide to restore. And restoring it brings it back to the main page as a task. So some of the things that we're able to identify as additional AI features, that potential AI features that we could implement, include this. So before I continue, did you guys get a chance to watch the recording of session 1 of week 1?
I think I watched it. Was it related to introduction, like
It
or
was related to AI ideas, SRS and AI ideas.
okay, then I don't think I saw that video.
Okay. So, excuse me. Another tool that we will be using is Google Classroom. So I don't know if you all got the chance to join the classroom. You got an invite. Did you all get an invite?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
Oh, okay. So from the invite, I attached the video of session 1, week 1, and I would recommend you all to go through it so that you see what we talked about, so that we're all on the same page. Also, I assigned an assignment. Anytime I assign an assignment, you'll get it from here. So I'll do it from here. We have one assignment currently open, and I'm not sure if it's expired yet, but I can extend it so that you also get to contribute. It's actually due today at midnight. So I can see, oh, Noella, you contributed. That's great. I can't see other people's work. Did you guys do the assignment? um, do you need more time?
Yeah, I did much. I haven't managed to do the write up, but I
Okay.
did the slides one.
Mm. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And okay. What about you, Faith? How did it go with the assignment?
I've done the slides as well.
Great, great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I have done the research. I haven't done the slides yet, but I will share what I have in mind. Anyway, we will be using Google Classrooms mainly for announcements every time. So currently, I'm recording this session. I hope I had mentioned this before that all the sessions will be recorded. So right now, this session is being recorded. And then I will be sharing the recordings both here after uploading it on YouTube and also posting any assignments and announcements from everything will be happening in Google Classrooms. And then code work, we will use GitHub. So please watch the video. You will get to understand where we stand in terms of week one and also the assignment and how we came to come up with these ideas. And then now we're going to review them. So I will let I would like to go first and share their um, ideas. So the assignment was to do more research about the feature so that we find out or vote on which feature we're going to implement this for. There's only so much we can do, and we've decided to only do two features at this time. So from the discussions we'll have today, we will know exactly which two AI features we want to explore more and add to the to-do list app. I hope that's clear for the new guys. Martin, I can see your mic is unmuted now. Can you are you able to say something? Okay. But I hope that's clear. Both Noella, Martin, and Mohammed. I hope we're kind of on the same page. I know we're not exactly there, but close. Do you have any questions at this point? Mohammed, Martin, Nala, please feel free to
No,
say anything. Don't, yeah, sorry?
everything, everything is clear for me.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. So who would like to start with their presentation?
I can start. Then the others can follow.
Okay, thank you. So
Thank you.
I will stop.
Share the screen.
Yeah. mm,
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So this is incorporating AI in Ongea task, and I'm going to start with the need for AI.
Do you
In
mind
this application,
maximizing? I'm sorry, I didn't do this myself, but do you mind doing a slideshow? Yeah, thank you.
okay.
Okay.
So what's the need for AI? For reducing manual work because it can be used to automate repetitive tasks and reduce the manual typing. Again, it can be useful in enhancing productivity because It can be used for reminders and suggestions to ensure that users don't forget important tasks. And then for personalized experiences, for example, if someone has some recurring tasks that they do maybe on a particular day in a week, so it can be useful for them in suggesting recurring tasks and by learning the user behavior. Um, so the first feature that I'm going to defend is the natural language task input. These were a task input lets users to enter tasks in everyday language and thereby helping improve usability by removing the need to manually type into the multiple fields. That's the description and the task title. So a user can enter the task in plain language, such as a task like submit a report next week on Wednesday by 12 p.m. And the AI will convert the text and input it into structured fields, including the task name and the due date and other fields. Um, so the ease of implementation and the tools that can be used to implement this feature. One of them is Spacy. It's used for recognizing the different parts of the task. Um, Flask and or Django can be used for the backend, and then Google speech to text for voice input, and then the date parser for passing the date and time. Um, so the ease of implementation. Uh, According to my research, so that it might be moderate because the working prototype can be built in 1 to 2 weeks if there's consistency and one starts with the simple patterns, and then um, the importance of this is that we can use rebuild libraries to reduce the efforts drastically, and then tools like Spacey and date parser are well documented and simple to start with. So uh, it's a feature that can be implemented without a lot of effort, but it still requires some effort. Then the second feature is the smart task suggestions. Um, so smart task suggestions help users to by recommending and recreating recurring tasks based on their past behavior. So, for example, if a user repeatedly creates a task on a particular day of the week, let's say on Saturday, a person does his or her shopping. So the app will detect the pattern and then suggest that as a recurring task on that day, for example. And then so the tools that can be used to implement this feature include pandas. This for analyzing the historical data, Flask for backend, and then SQL, ORM, and SQL Alchemy for querying the task user history. And then we can use JSON templates to define the recurring templates for those tasks that are recurring. And then skitlearn for machine learning. Um, the ease of implementation. So that this is a bit between moderate and hard. It depends on the person's experience. So it requires data analysis and machine learning for personalized task suggestions. Requires enough user data to train and identify patterns meaningfully, and it can take more time due to the complexity of setting up the machine learning models. Nevertheless, the tools, including pandas, have available tutorials which are beginner friendly. Um, that's it for these two. Um, if you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you.
That was great. That was really to the point,
Oh,
and yeah. Hmm.
I forgot to include the pipeline
Hmm.
for the two tasks. So for natural language task input,
Hmm.
um, the app can identify the different parts. The beginning, it identifies the different parts of the task. So, for example, the date and the task title, and then it maps those extracted parts into, and then inputs it into the respective fields. And then if we have the voice feature, so it will convert the voice to the speech to text, and then do the process of identifying the different parts and then mapping the extracted parts. And then for um, the other feature, it will include recording the task history, and then identifying the frequency. And then after identifying the frequency that is detecting the repeated tasks, it will propose the patterns and then suggest that the tasks. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I have one question. Did you manage
Mm,
to try it out yourself, like do a demo, something, just to see, um, you know?
mm, I didn't get the opportunity. The week has been a bit hectic,
Yeah,
so I didn't really get much time.
yeah. This is really good. I think what you've identified puts us in a good position to have an idea of what it would entail, like what we would need to implement it. I would say if you get some time today, you could add
Mm,
the pipelines that you've mentioned, because I'm thinking
yeah,
we could extend this idea, like this review, for a couple of more days so that we allow everyone else to participate, including Noella, Martin, and Mohammed. So, yeah.
okay.
Okay. Any questions for Edwin? Okay. So, who'd like to go next? Thank you so much
I
for
can go next.
for the presentation. Okay, Abby, please share your screen.
Okay.
Okay.
1 minute.
It's okay. Take your time.
I'm not sure why it's so slow. Okay.
Isn't that the usual case when you're trying to demonstrate something to people? Just
Yeah.
something technical just gets messed up, and then yeah, it's always working until you're trying to present something.
Yeah. If Faith is ready, she can go first because this will take a while.
Okay. Faith, you can go ahead if you're ready.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so um, these are the AI features for Ongea Task app.
Do you mind
The first feature is
doing the slideshow thing?
I've been looking for where to. I don't know where. I'm supposed.
You see at the bottom, there's like a menu and then there's like a play sign. Yeah, like that's the
Oh,
one.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So the first AI feature is AI powered motivational. This is an AI feature that motivates users with short, encouraging messages and nudges. Scenarios like when no tasks have been added yet, starting tasks, completing tasks, delaying, overloading tasks, or end of day reflection. Instead of generic reminders, the app adapts messages to behavior procrastination. So the tools needed are AI or P, which is natural language processing, OpenAI API or Hugging Face message generation. Backend is going to use Python, Flask to integrate AI responses. Front end is going to use React structure to display nudges in the app. And then for the database, it's going to use MySQL to track the user habits. And then ease of implementation, accessibility. The timeline will vary, but basic functionality can be achieved quickly with refinements added over time. Then most messages can be pre-written, plus AI can generate versions. It requires minimal training. It uses existing AI APIs. Prototype examples are like when no tasks added, motivational quotes like nothing here yet, add a task and watch your progress grow. When starting a task, it can display a motivational great start of great starts. Every big win begins with a step. When completing a task, done and dusted, amazing work. When procrastinating, future you will thank you for starting this now. You've got this. When overloading tasks, you've got a lot on your plate. Focus on one task that will make your day lighter. End of day reflection, great effort today. Tomorrow will be even better. And then the second AI feature, Weekly Digest. This is an AI feature that summarizes productivity each week. It creates personalized insights, highlights accomplishments, detects struggles, and gives recommendations for the coming. So the tools needed are AI stroke NLP, um, Open AI or Hugging Face for visualization and visualization. For the backend, it's also going to use Python, Flask to process weekly task data. For front end, it's also going to use React struct data to display digest. And then for the database, it's going to use MySQL to track activity as well. And the ease of implementation timeline depends on scope. An MVP can be built within a short development cycle. And then it requires storing user activity log plus AI summarization. Then it uses existing API, low to moderate complexity. So prototype examples are like a weekly summary, like you completed 15 tasks this week with most progress on task one or whichever task it was. Then encouraging closing. Great progress this week. Even small steps can add up. Let's aim for consistency next week. Challenges and struggles. 3 tasks were snoozed multiple times. Task one, two, task two, and task three. Recommendations for next week. Like focus on high priority each morning before distraction. Something like that. Yeah. So it's if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask them.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I have one question. You mentioned that we
Okay.
can use React for the front end, but considering we are using Flask with Ginger templates, can we just maintain the
Mhm.
same stack? So instead of React, we
Yeah,
just
we
continue
can.
with Ginger templates.
Yes, yes, we can definitely continue stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions, comments, feedback, anything? Well, thanks for sharing your presentation. It was uh, s- straight to the point, and I really
You're
like the
welcome.
ideas as well. Yeah. Okay. We were going to have a hard time picking just two features. So, Abby, please feel free to share. I hope you are able to share now.
Let me see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Um, for the first idea that we had is another idea that we had is smart reminders or best time nudges. So basically, this suggests reminders at the best time based on the task type or the user habits. So I did them kind of like in a problem solution way. So right now, most apps rely on fixed reminders, which often like they don't fit into a user's actual schedule. So reminders might come at inconvenient times, leading to users ignoring or like snoozing them. The solution would be to make reminders smarter by adapting to each user's behavior by the use of AI. For example, if a user tends to complete a task in the evening, the app could remind them at 7 p.m. And then if a task is due tomorrow, it might send a reminder today instead. So the goal is basically to reduce tasks by making reminders smarter than fixed times. So for the tools needed, I would first track when users complete tasks. For an MVP, we could use heuristics, which is simple rules based on urgency, and then also user preferences. A backend scheduler like Celery or AP Scheduler would handle the actual reminders, and then later on, with enough data, we could train a predictive machine learning model. I forgot to mention that for the front end, we'll just need, my bad, for the back end would be Flask, which would manage scheduling logic and links reminders to user tasks. And then we could use MySQL database to store reminder times, user task history, and also completion patterns. Um, OpenAI API is also optional, but could be used to make reminders feel more natural, like phrasing suggestions in a friendly, human way. Uh, and then for the ease of implementation, it can start simple, but the difficulty could be moderate as well. It could be it could be built in a week, but that would mean it's consistent building, and then a more advanced version using machine learning would require larger data sets, but the MVP would already showcase that data. Um, Yeah, for a prototype idea, if a task has a deadline, it would just suggest a day before. And then if user usually completes tasks in the evening, it would nudge reminders to that window. So basically, in summary, smart tasks make notification more useful and less annoying. They can significantly improve user engagement and productivity. We can start with an MVP using heuristics and later grow into a fully powered AI version. For the second idea, And in this slide would be automatic subtask generation. So basically, this breaks down big tasks into smaller, manageable steps, and then it uses natural language processing to analyze the task title and then suggest subtasks. So the problem here is that when users create larger or like vague tasks, they may feel overwhelmed and not know where to begin. This can lead to procrastination or unfinished tasks. For the solution would be to use AI to automatically generate smaller, actionable tasks. For example, if someone creates a task, plan trip, the system would suggest subtasks like booking a flight, reserving a hotel, and then creating an itinerary. And then for the tools needed, the OpenAI, Hugging Face, and then Spacey. And then we need Flask API for integration for front end, just HTML, CSS, JavaScript to show suggestions. And then later, it would let users accept, reject, or edit before saving. And then it would need database to update for subtasks. Um, For ease of implementation, the feature is feasible with an MVP. Um, Using an existing NLP API we could prototype in 1 to 2 weeks, also depending on the consistency or like the time dedicated to do that. And then the system could simply call the model, get 3 subtasks back, and then allow the user to accept or edit them. So in summary, automatic subtext generation makes tasks feel less intimidating, supporting creativity, and productivity, and can be easily prototyped. And later, it could be expanded to learn from user feedback for more personalized subtasks. Yeah, that's all for me.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing um, your breakdown on what is needed for the two features. I
Mm-hmm.
guess the same question would be as I had asked Faith, instead of just using plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, could we continue with our templates the way they are, like the Ginger templates, because they are technically using HTML, and then now we're going to use Tailwind and JavaScript. I'm assuming that's okay, right?
Yeah, we can use that. We can use the Ginger template.
Okay. So I do not have anything um put down. Wait, first of all, is there any question, comment, feedback, anything for Abby? Anyone? I guess there are no questions, Abby. So thank you so much for sharing. Um,
Mhm.
I do not have my presentation ready yet, mainly because I had some technical difficulties on Friday, yesterday, and I've been working on getting my laptop to work again. I did an update and it just messed everything up. And so I will do a recording over the weekend, so between today and tomorrow, and then I'll share that through Google Classroom, and then we'll get some time to evaluate. So I don't know what you guys think about the different ideas, specifically Noella, Mohammed, and Martin. Any feedback, comments, questions, or anyone in the group actually? Anyone?
Hi, I think I can start because I had similar suggestions to related to was it who presented? Edwin and Abby.
Mhm.
I tried working on intelligent reminders and scheduler system. I researched on that. But what is different from theirs is using a singleton design pattern. Yeah, I was thinking maybe to avoid duplication and spam. Singleton design pattern can come in handy, although I have not worked with it before.
So for the singleton, I know the main goal is to have only one um,
Scheduler?
entry or one, how should I say, instance of something. Usually you'll find applications use singletons, the singleton pattern when it comes to connecting to a database, for instance. You don't want to have more than one connection to the database so that there's consistency in um, like the data. There's only one entry and like one connection to the database. Thanks
Okay.
for bringing it up, the singleton. That's a very good topic that we will hopefully discuss in future design patterns and architectural design patterns. So uh, I would, if you have some time, you could tell us more about what you had in mind with regards to the singleton and the intelligent tasks scheduling. Yeah,
Uh, okay.
yeah. So I'd still say this. We, I don't know if we are in a place to vote for which um, features we should go for yet, but maybe we could do, how do I say? I think we could try and do like a simple prototype first. I don't know what you guys think. Is it too much? Will that be too much for us to do, or should we just pick two and then do the prototypes for validity, for validating, that it's going to work? Any ideas? This is just brainstorming.
So for prototyping, will you have to do like a simple workflow, or how do you do it?
So it would be something like getting um, like we will do a very small project on with regards to that. For instance, if it's the scheduling, we will see how to work with, I can't remember which libraries they were, but just integrating them together so that they give us something close to what we need. So it doesn't need to necessarily be integrated with the front end, but if it's sending the right requests and receiving the right response back, responses back, then we are like sure it's working. But I know it's a lot to, it's still a lot if you ask me, because there are like one, two, three, four, five, six, eight ideas. There are some that I think we can um, do like a hybrid,
Eliminate.
not necessarily eliminate totally, but like do either do a hybrid or start with it being it not necessarily being an AI implementation. For instance, the daily motivation. So for the daily motivation, all the and messages and all, we could base that on the state of a task. So or the state of the app. Like for instance, when the app is like there's no task, If you query the DB and it shows that there is no task, we can just send that message. And if you complete a task, we can, if the status has changed from in progress to complete, we can also send you that message. So I think something like that we can definitely have, and we can start with it being just an additional feature before we have it as an AI feature. I don't know what you guys think. I know this was your feature, Faith. What do you think? Or and everyone, just chime in.
Yeah, I think we can start it just as an additional feature. We go into the AI, just start it as an additional feature first.
Okay.
Also, I think also for the weekly digest, it's kind of the same approach. We could check just as checking result, the state of completed task, and then it's going to send you a message. Kind of the same.
I'd say the weekly digest could be a little different. Like I think it might need some sort of smart summarization kind of thing, but it would be very, very simple to implement. I know it sounds like I've done this before, but it would be more so taking all the tasks from our database, whether it's complete or not, and then categorize it by the status, and then uh, sending a request to summarize that, and then so
Yeah.
yeah, the weekly digest sounds like it's going to be a bit simpler to implement. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but it might need um, some bit of AI. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I also think
Mm.
it's going to be a bit simpler to implement.
Mhm. Edwin, you're going to say something?
I was saying like for those ones, I think they can be a bit simpler to do the prototyping. But what about the other ones that seem a bit complex?
Yeah.
For example, the smart task suggestions and um, the natural language input.
Yes. So I still think we can try and do a short demo just to see how feasible it is. So
Okay.
more like we can use Google Colab, the notebooks, just to see if we can, or just whatever setup it is, just to see if we can integrate successfully with the APIs that you have in mind. If we can send a
Okay.
prompt and then have it come back the way you know, and we can look at if someone has already built it, and if they have, like we can try and replicate that. That's always a good way to start.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you guys think, Nyla, Mohammed, Martin? Any feedback is welcome. Please feel free to engage. Like we are very open um, to hearing your ideas. Okay, so for I know I'm supposed to do the duplicate detection. So the little research I did, I was able to identify some. I have some ideas on how we can do the duplicate detection. We could use there's something called TD-IDF, term, actually TF, term frequency and item. Is it item document? Let me just search that. So it's usually used to identify how similar the similarity of things between documents. A good way that it's used in the real world is to find if someone has copied something, plagiarized something. So if you submit your work and the system that uses that checks online and it finds uh, it finds that you have copy pasted something, it will easily detect that. Let me just TF IDF. It's called, yeah, term frequency inverse document frequency. It's a statistical method in big data that allows you to do that. But that's like a traditional method of doing it. A more recent one is called the cosine similarity. And that one would also allow us to identify how similar, how close items are, or things are. In this case, tasks are to one another. And if they're familiar, then we can be able to, get rid of one or suggest that we get rid of one and keep another one. Um, I will do a video during the weekend and share it with you just to break down on how exactly I'm thinking of implementing that. But that's the approach. It's either I use TF IDF or I use cosine similarity to check for duplicate detection. For priority suggestions, so the approach I was thinking is what was it? Okay, I've forgotten. Sorry, my mind is just exhausted. But I will do I'll do a breakdown of my approach and then I will share it with you. And then we can have a discussion on it online or uh, over the weekend. But I recommend we do it during the week online. So if we were to vote on two features that we could implement, we can do a very, we can do a vote right now just to see. And then we can take the week to do more research. And in this case, not necessarily research because we already know, for instance, which libraries do we want to use or which approach we want to use. We can try and do a very simple prototype. Please feel free to only do one, considering you guys are also working or doing something else. Do at least one. If you have the time, you can do two. And if you need help, please put it in the chat. Like, you want to brainstorm with someone or you want to do like you need help figuring something out. Please put it in the chat and then we can figure it out together. So if I was to take a roll call, if that's the right, if I was to do that, let me share my screen again. Um, how would we vote for this ones? So let's start with, so just each of us please mention just two of them. October, the features you think we can do. Mohammed, can start with you.
Yeah, I wasn't following the question. Can you repeat the question again?
Which two ideas would you vote for?
Uh, maybe the smartest suggestion and the daily motivation, I think.
Please come up again.
The daily motivation and the smart task.
So the daily motivation
Yeah, by Faith and Edwin.
and was this the smart task suggestion? That one?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, next, Noella, you could vote for two.
I think I'd go for the smart task with AI reminders. And the second one that checks duplication using, was it TF-IDF?
Wait,
The one that
sorry, the first one, repeat the first one again.
the AI reminder feature
Mm. Oh, smart
by,
reminder. This one by Abby.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, the one that checks duplication
Okay.
using TF-IDF.
Okay. Martin, please feel free to vote in the chat, or if you're able to um, say it, please feel free to mention the two. Faith, which ones did you vote for?
Um, I would vote for the smart reminders and the duplicate detection.
You're
Since
not voting
we've
for
decided
yourself.
that, yeah, since we decided that we're going to first put the daily motivational quote as a feature, like just an additional feature first. So I've decided maybe we can just start with smart reminders.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Abby?
Okay, this is gonna be hard. I think the reminders, and then yeah, the duplicate detection.
Okay. And lastly, Edwin, what do you want to? What do you think is a
I'm still going to say the natural language task input and the smart task suggestion. Downside.
okay? So now we need Martin to vote as I don't want to vote. It feels like I'm so biased. I'd be so biased. But Martin, if you can vote, if you can hear us, please just send your vote. Yeah, yeah. So here's the thing, though. This is just the initial vote. What I would say is this week, I think we should divide ourselves into two groups. We should divide ourselves into the group that does the redesign, or no, actually, let's not do focus on the redesign. Let's um, pick the ones that we've voted for, at least, and then try and come up with prototypes. So I would say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5, and I know we're about 10 of us. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can work in groups of 2, or some of us will be one in a group to try and come up with a very simple prototype to see how it's going to work. What do you guys think? Because I think we can we should focus on that first and then decide on what we're going to do before we redesign the app. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think that will be better.
Okay. Okay. So I hope you can still see my screen. I would say we are done with this part as well, going through the assignment. I will submit mine over the weekend, and then you guys can see um, what approach I have in mind. So now let's go to what we're supposed to do today. I know we've taken a lot of time reviewing, but it was a good review. So, is anyone familiar with Tailwind? Why did I go there? Is anyone familiar with Tailwind? Has anyone used it before?
No, not for me.
I haven't used it, but I've heard about it.
Okay. What about
Yes,
you?
I'm here. I've,
Okay.
I've heard about it, but I have no experience with it or interaction.
Okay. What about Noella Mohammed?
I haven't used it.
Okay. Mohammed, have you used Tailwind before?
Nope, I haven't.
Okay. So it is a CSS framework. It's very, very popular right now, and it's very responsive. Like it works in bits. And you see how I'm assuming most of us are familiar with CSS, especially for the ones who have been working on the project before. I know you guys did it with CSS to style the pages. Uh, Noella, Mohammed, Martin, have you guys used CSS before? I'm sure or are you familiar with CSS?
Yes, I have.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So from CSS, we know we usually use, is it selectors? I think, yeah, where you either pick a class, use a class, tags like div tag, or elements like form, or to identify what exactly in HTML you want to style, and then you go to a separate CSS document, and then you style it the way you want. But in Tailwind, it uses utility classes. It uses like small classes that a utility class is something that just its work is to do one thing, and it can be used again and again for that one thing in many places. So instead of using CSS where you identify a place and then make sure that whatever element you're styling is aligned. Like in Tailwind, you just put the utility classes in the HTML elements themselves. So this, when you get used to the classes, it makes it so much easier. At the beginning, you'll have to keep referring to the documentation of Tailwind just so that you see which class is the right one to use. But after some time, you'll find that it just gets so much easier and it'll make your work much better. So the other reason for using Tailwind is it's a very popular framework right now, and you can use it for also styling mobile applications. For instance, if you're doing React Native, you can use Native Wind to style, and you'll use it. It'll be just the same way um, that you use for web applications. So some of these classes, some of the examples, if you want to put an effect on, let's say your box shadow, you can use shadow MD. MD here just means medium. If it's a text shadow, you can use this class, or opacity, you can use opacity dash and then the percentage, the number of opacity. And then, man, sorry. I was supposed to remove some of these things. This is from previous. I was doing the slides this morning, didn't have time. So instead of looking at this, let's go to the Tailwind. Let's look at the docs. I think that'll just make it much easier. So we were looking at layout, right? So let's look at layout. So if it's something to do with aspect ratio, or let's say float. So you can have it, the class that you will use is float right. And the style that it will implement is the float right. Float start will implement the style that's this one. In your normal CSS, you would have used float and then inline start, but you will use this instead, float start. For typography, let's go to typography. For font family, instead of doing this, I don't know if you guys can see my screen okay, or should I zoom in a little bit? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for under typography, you want to style with regards to typography. If it's something to do with font family, instead of doing this, like this is what you would have done in CSS, you just do font and then sans, or font mono. So the template is font and then the family name. Then if you have a custom property, you can do that. You can add it here. And then for spacing, I was supposed to, forgive me for this, but I was supposed to have these examples on the other side, so we'll just do it one at a time. Spacing, um, padding. This is a very common thing that we use all the time, right? You want to put space in between your content and the edge. So you can do P and then PX. So, and this will add a padding of 1. You can do P4. So this will add 4 pixels. This will add 8 pixels. So this is basically it. And if it's margin, you can do, let's go to an example. M8, 8 being the pixel size, that you want. It is, yes, here it is. And if it's a negative number, you can put the negative just before the class name. You can also have MX auto for auto, and then I think you guys can go through this just to get more understanding of the classes that are available. So the difference between MX and MY is that this is in the x-axis, so it's going to be horizontal, and then this one is in the y-axis. So this one will put a padding at the top and bottom, and then this one will be right and left. Okay, so sizing is another one. We use this all the time. Where are you, sizing? Uh, okay, clearly I saw it somewhere, but you can check it out. Yeah, here it is. Thank goodness. So, sizing is when you want to make changes to the size of, let's say, a button. So the width can be small, SM, and this class, when you use w-sm small, this is the pixel or the rem value. And if you use medium, if you use large, if you use XL, 2XL, this is what the equivalent in CSS. This is what it is. Let's see an example. Yeah, so this is just it. This is how, and you can put a number to it in terms of pixels. Lastly, we have Flexbox and Grid. I know this is something that we use a lot, considering it helps us align things in a more responsive way, or just makes things cleaner. So you can use these classes for Flex. So Flex Auto, Flex Initial, Flex None. Please feel free to go to the site and just tinker with it. And once we have it on the repo, you can also just play with it and see which one works for you. But this is going to be your friend. This part of the documentation, this is where you're going to be coming back to reference so that you see, I want to change the size of my button so that it's not too big. What do I do? You'll come to sizing. And to change the height of my page, you'll come here and then just see, because I want this size, what should I do? And then, you know, get whatever you need from here and then put it in your in the application. So, excuse me, this is just an example of how it works. Let me maximize this. So normal CSS, like I had said, you need, for instance, this one, the dot means it's a class. So, and the class is called my button. And for us to style that button, we will have the styles here. So the background color will be blue, the color itself or the text will be white, and then this will be the padding for the X and Y coordinates, and then the border radius would be 4. So the curve border radius would be 4 pixels. So in Tailwind, for the exact same thing, you're going to have it this way. You're just going to say BG blue 500, And this 500 is more like I believe it's the opacity of the color. So like how dark or how light saturated it is. You can just check it out in the documentation to confirm that. But BG blue is the same as this first line, what this line is doing. And then text white is just the same as this one, color white. And then PY 2 pixels, and it's a bit different from this one. It's supposed to be 8 pixels. So this will be PY axis vertical. So that's going to be 2 pixels, and then padding the X axis, it's going to be 4 pixels. And then rounded. So this rounded, I'm sure it has a default border, like the pixels on the border radius, but it does the same thing for the border radius. So if you look at these two, the Tailwind one uses like if you already knew all these things before, like you've done it before, you don't even need to go to the documentation. It's so easy to style. It would be so easy for you to style the button, right? You just need the right classes, and then you just put them, and then you're good. You don't need a whole other document. And then when it comes to maintaining, I don't know, I'm sure you guys are familiar with having like a big CSS file, and then you have to keep making changes in one place, and then it misses the others, and then it's a whole process. So it's also, this makes it easier to maintain. So we're going to set up Tailwind using post CSS. I tried setting this up yesterday as I was working on the slides, and I didn't finish because my laptop was just doing its thing. So we will do it together today. We'll start from scratch and then see how everything works out. While I was doing it, I was taking notes on the steps that I took. So we'll just refer to those steps just to keep it short and use as little time as possible for the demo. So there are different ways you can install Tailwind. You can use Vite if your application uses Vite, and then you can use Post CSS like what you're going to do today, or you can use Tailwind CLI, and then, or you can use CDM. And then now we're going to go to the redesigning of the app. Some of the things that I think we should focus on when we're redesigning the app this time is the color scheme. We need to put our color scheme to explicitly define it, and then always reference it for the different elements that were parts of our design. I will quickly we'll quickly go through our current design so that we see what we have and then what we can improve. But I think we can start with defining a color scheme. And then another thing is typography. We need to define exactly which font family or which font type and size we're going to use for the different pages. I don't know if you noticed, but we had different fonts for different pages because we had different people doing the designs. Then we need to have some consistencies in terms of if it's a card, they should all look the same. If it's a button, they should all look the same. Excuse me. Then we should use frames. Frames are really good because they are responsive and they adjust very well. When you add things to it, when you remove, when you make changes, instead of using groups. Another thing is components. I don't know if you guys are familiar with components on Figma, but we can create one and then reuse it. So for instance, a good one that we need to create is for the navigation bar. We know that the navigation bar will be there all the time, regardless of whether we are in the trash window, we are in the tasks window, we're in the profile window. The navigation bar is consistent throughout. So instead of us copying and pasting the navigation bar for all of the designs, because we'll have it in the frames, we just have that as a UI component. And then we just insert that UI component in every window. It'll make the design process so much easier. Another thing is auto layout. We should use auto layout in almost everything actually that we're going to design. It really helps align things properly and adjust accordingly whenever you add something to an element. It auto adjusts. And it's also so much easier to edit or make changes to a component that has auto layout. One last thing is we need to use prototyping, and that will give us an idea of how the app is going to look like even before we code. I don't know how many people have done prototyping with Figma before. Anyone? The experience? Anyone? No one at all?
I think when we were designing,
Yeah.
I tried to use typing uh, to see how they look.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, but the thing is, we didn't have a flow of things. So in this case, usually when you're doing prototyping with Figma, you also attached the screens together in such a way that it sort of looks like the final product. So for instance, if you're logging in, when you click the login button, it should take you to the screen where it's already logged in. And if you click the create task, it should bring you to the screen that has the pop-up with the form for adding details about a task. So for someone like who, let's assume I'm the customer, I'm the one who's paying you to build this to-do list app, I can have an idea of what to expect even before you like coding has implementation has started. So we will work on doing that because it's a really good skill to have. It really helps with getting aligned, everyone aligned on the goal and like what the app is supposed to look like. So we're also going to include some naming conventions. So we're going to use things like button or primary instead of rectangle 1, rectangle 2, If it's a login page, we have to have that frame, has to be the right frame. And then it also has to have like login on top. If it's sign up, the frame should have the right name. And then pages in Figma. So Figma has different pages, and we will need to have, for instance, if we create a couple of components, we can all put them in one page as in the components page. If we have different, like for our styles, like color scheme, button, how it's going to look like, a card, how a card looks like, we are going to have a styles page that just has an example of like those things, those UI elements. So if I am coming to design, I can always reference them and see, oh, a button is supposed to look like this. Okay, cool. So now I go back, I do my designs, and I make sure that it aligns to that. And then another thing that I usually do is design grouping. So if it's the sign up, so the sign up process might have a couple of steps. So those screens can be grouped together into a sign up. So you put a label, a rectangle with a label, and then you write the appropriate name for that group, so that at a glance I'm able to know that these screens belong to the sign up, these screens are for login, these screens are for trash, and all the other different functionalities or groupings, that logical groupings that we might have. So now let's do a demo on Tailwind, and then we will do a demo on Figma, and then we'll take questions. So let's start with Tailwind. So this is what we are going to use. This is what I was working on, supposed to have this in the presentation, but like I said, I didn't have enough time to transfer it, but this is the steps that we are going to follow. So let me, first of all, are there any questions before I continue? Okay. If you do not have any questions, let me so this is the place we are. This is the documentation. Let me just share it with you all so that, oh, Martin, I've just seen your text. So Martin has voted for, let's see, sorry for taking us back again. Intelligent task scheduling. Where was it? Was it? So task scheduling, was it smart reminders? So that and this one for motivation. Um, so this one, yeah, I think. Wait, guys, what do you guys think the intelligent task scheduling aligns with, like the project here? Or Martin, if he's not around. Okay, cool. We can come back to that, but maybe Martin, I hope you can hear me. Please, between this ones, please specify what intelligent task scheduling is. I don't know if it's the smart reminder or best time nudges. I think that's the one. But just confirm that. In the meantime, I am sharing the link to the Tailwind documentation. That's the one that we're going to use for
Hi,
installing.
Marty. Can anyone hear me?
Ah, finally. Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Uh, uh,
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, team, for the quite disappointing moments I've had.
yeah.
But I've been following along despite the challenges. I moved to a new location. I'm in Meru, whoever knows Meru. Uh,
Yes.
but I was able to chat in the chat, and I also made my vote seen. Hopefully, Marty, you're able to see it.
Yes.
Uh, oh, great. My name is Martin. I didn't get a chance to introduce myself earlier on. And happy to say that I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yes, we're glad to have you, Martin, and finally hear from you. For everyone, Meru is in Kenya. It's a city, it's a town in Kenya. I don't know if it's a city yet, but I know it's a town. At least it's a town. I know it's a town in Kenya. But happy to hear from you. I was just actually asking you for the intelligent task scheduling. Did you mean this one, the smart reminders? Is this the one that you are, or was it a different one?
Yeah, I meant the smart reminders.
Okay, okay. So Abby, we're definitely working on that, and yeah, but we will work on all the ones that have been voted for at least. So, if you guys don't mind, please click on the link that I've shared, and we can try and work together on the same um, just follow along. Um, so you can see my screen. I know it's quite small, so I hope this is good. Is this okay for everyone?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. So we are now on the main branch, but we need to, let me create a new branch. Let me just check first of all if the branch is already there. That I'm thinking of. Okay. So I will create a branch. I will call it Tailwind. And then I will, so one rule that we have for working with this project, which is a Python project, and any other Python project that you might have, is you need to work in a virtual environment. So that's what we're going to do first. So we'll create the virtual environment and call it VENV, and then we're going to activate that. Okay. So to confirm that we're in the virtual environment, I will use the which command. So as you can see, it shows we are in the virtual environment. So now we can start. So this is a freshly cloned application. First things first, we need to create a .env file, and this .env file will have our environment variables. I don't know if we have it on the repo. Let me just see. Can someone message me directly? Edwin, if you don't mind messaging me directly with a copy of the VNV, your VNV file. I know we have that, but we also have a couple
Auntie.
of other settings. But as he shares it, we will install the requirements. So we'll do pip install. Requirements.txt. I hope requirements. I think that's right. There's, so this will install all the dependencies. Let's see. So I'm going to um, get, let me, I think I had already done this before, but I will include a few things in the gitignore file. So just give me a second, a tiny second. I already had it, I just want to copy it. Yeah. So, because when I did it before, uh, yeah. So I will. I don't know if you've
You said
been able.
DNV or
Yeah, the .env file. Yeah, if you can share that.
DNV again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyways, as he shares that, so I've just added a few things in the .ignore file, and I'm doing this because when I did it initially, there's some things that were still being monitored with Git. But next thing we need to do is let me just follow the installation process. We need to do a Docker. We need to run our DB using the Docker compose command. I haven't added that as a step. I will make I'll make changes to that. But let me start Docker. So what you need is you need to have Docker installed on your machine, and then it's so I'll add those steps, but you just do Docker compose and then dash D detached, and then I believe it's up. Can't remember, and it'll use this YAML file, this one, to create a MySQL DB on your machine. So okay, that's good. So the only thing I'm waiting for is the file which Edwin has sent. Thank you. So what I'll do is just put this here just for a second, add it, mainly because I'm recording this. And
So share the
so
editing.
the .venv file, I'll share it in the classroom, like the details to the, especially with regards to the email used for resetting password, I believe. The one that you used, Edwin, for, those credentials are a bit sensitive. So I will make sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we will see how we can use GitHub secrets instead, so that we don't have to do all of this. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
now we have our VNV file. Let me try and do. Let me try and run the app and see if it's going to run. So there's an issue. Um, okay, not sure why the other one wasn't working, but run.py is working. That's fine by me. Let's see if it's doing what it's supposed to do. I'll check out why Flask run is not working. It's very. I'm sure it's anyway. But Python run.py is where our app is being initiated, so that's why we are calling that file. So let's go to this thing. So this is the app. This is what we currently have. It might not be the latest one we have because I'm yet to merge a few PRs, but supposed to allow you to add that. And let's see. This is something to do with the database. I think it hasn't been initialized yet. So let me reset the DB and see if that will work. Okay, let's try again. Okay, now it's all good. So that was because there were changes to the model, and we were trying to push a new object to a new object with a new model to an old schema in the database, but it's working okay. So this is the categories page. Clearly, I haven't added the PR. This page look much nicer right now, as well as the trash and the settings page. So let's, now that the app is up and running, we've run the front end, back end, as well as the DB, and it's good. It's working. Let's now see how we can integrate Tailwind to this project. So, according to the Tailwind documentation, these are the steps we need to follow. So I'll follow them. If it doesn't work, I will go with what I had planned initially. The only reason I'm not going with it now is because my laptop had issues already, so I can't be certain that the issues weren't because of my laptop, and that, these initial steps are actually, they work okay. So anyway, let me get straight to it. If you can see, so we'll start with this first step. So installing CSS, Tailwind CSS. So let's do that. Just okay. Okay, it's good. And then, so it's saying we need to add that to our post CSS config. And from my notes, well, sorry, let me put this away. Sorry, there's just so much going on. Forgive me for that. It's let me see if I can combine this two. Actually, I can't because it's a two profiles, so let's keep it that way. But this is it. Um, so I'm supposed to create this in the root, the post css.config file. Okay, I'm just everywhere. So .config. I think that was it. So let's look at, I don't know where the, let me just do Tailwind again, sorry. So let's go to the docs, installation. Okay, so we need to copy this. I really hope I haven't mixed you guys up, but we're copying. So what we did was we installed Tailwind CSS, and then now after creating this file, we are going to copy this into that file. And I've just realized that it's postcss.config.mjs. So let me just rename this to mjs. I'm not sure if that's going to make a difference or not, but and then now we import Tailwind CSS. So from what I found was we need to create an input.css file so that we can import the, actually we can just put it in, no, yes, let's do this. So we'll create static file. So let me just put this here so that I can see clearly. So under the static file folder here, we'll create an src source file, and then an input file, input.css. And then this is where we will, there, that's where we will import Tailwind. And then we will do npm run dev. Although I don't think that will work. Sorry, let me just, because we haven't installed npm, and we haven't installed okay, because we don't have a package.json file, do we? Oh, we do. Good. Um, we don't have a script for dev. So what I'll do is, let me just follow my uh, initial steps. Okay, install Tailwind. So I'm installing Tailwind post CSS and concurrently, and prettier, which I think is already there. And then I will create a tailwind.config file. And then I will add this to the file. And then the post CSS file stays the same. And then I will import Tailwind CSS the way we had started, the src, and then this. And then I'll also create a dist folder. Um, and then I will have this here. And then I will make changes to the package.json file. So now if we look at package.json file, it should have scripts. So I will add it here. And then I will take the, I'll reference Tailwind and the CSS file, the best file, which is in our templates, which is here, which is the index.html. So I will have that here. And then I will try and run the application and hope that it will run. This is what I was doing yesterday just to check that everything is running okay. And it is. Wow. So clearly I got some things right. Okay. So let's look at our. So this is what we have. I am sorry if have I. Is anyone lost? Please say something. It's very silent. I don't know if you followed,
Uh,
been following. If I have, because I was just doing one,
yeah,
two.
still following.
Okay. I will take you guys through the steps again because yesterday I took a lot of work to kind of debug and see what's working and what's not. So let's try. Let's try and see if we can use Tailwind, right? Let's see if we can use it to style our Flask application. So where do you guys want us to do to test it? Where do you suggest we test it?
Hmm.
Anyone?
The components on the drawer on the left navigations.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
Hmm.
Considering this should be in our anyone. Where can we find this? So these are our templates. So we have categories page, history page, index page, which is the base template, and then individual tasks, task page, login, logout, profile settings, sign up, tasks, and trash. So considering this page is always present no matter the view, because if you look at it, this one is always changing, but this at the top navbar and the side navbar, they are always there. So where do you guys think we can find this? Even without looking at the
The
mhm.
index.
Anyone else?
Layouts.
Um,
Like,
we don't have a layout page.
okay.
Mhm. I'm sorry. I know it's because you haven't messed around with the code. That's why it might be a bit, yeah, you might not know if that page is there or not. Does anyone have a different answer than Edwin's answer? Other than Edwin's answer? I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying Are we with Edwin? Are we against him? Like, are we thinking it's different?
I also think
Yeah, I
it's
think index
also
too.
the index.
Okay, so Faith, you think it's the index page. Abby, you also think it's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that should be it. And it's mainly because it's the base page template. What I mean by the base template, it means it's like the fundamental template. Like it's the one that is always there, and then additional pages can be added on top of it. So, for instance, it has the navbar. So, remember, we don't want to keep adding code for the navbar at the top and at the side. So, we have this template. We have a base template. Um, I know the the guys who have just joined haven't had a chance to go through the code yet, but this is what the index or the our base template looks like. So we have the sidebar, so we have the tasks, we have the categories, profile, history. This is what we are seeing here. This is what we are seeing here, and then at the top, it's this one. We have our logo, the far right, far left, with the image, and then we have the search bar, excuse me, which is at the middle, and then we have a user profile and the logout at the is this at the right? The logout? Oh yeah, it's a drop down. So yeah, profile logout. So this is where we are going to make that change. If we remember how to do it in Tailwind, we were supposed to, let's see, this is the format. So we have class, and then we have the different classes for, yeah. So let's crossing my fingers that this actually works without any problems. So let's start with tasks. Let's start with this one. So we will remove this, uh, this, and then what do we want? What change do we want to have? By the way, if you don't mind me asking, we could change what?
Maybe
Mm,
the
font.
spacing. Okay.
Sorry, you wanted any? I guess was it Noella? I think it was you who had
Yeah, I
suggested.
was curious. Yeah, I was curious to see how you would change maybe the spacing between the components.
Okay, so let's go to the Tailwind because um I haven't it's not on my mind yet. Like I'm not that good at Tailwind, so I will be referencing this. So I want to go to spacing. So let's go to spacing. Okay, so let's do PY 8 or something. So P, if you just do P, it'll be all round. So Y is, you remember, Y axis, X axis. So let's do PY and then put a number to it and see if that works. Um, so between this, okay. So let's see where that would be in the code. That should be here. I believe it should be here. We'll see if it works or not. Um, Okay. So P Y, and then let's take 10. And I like that it auto, what's it called?
Suggests. Yeah.
Suggested. So I hope it worked. I don't know if there's a difference. Let's put a very huge number so that we see if I don't think there's a difference. Let's do let me redo this, and then let me put it at the top instead and see. So no change. Okay. 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 Let's try and make another change. Let's do color. Maybe that would be a bit, I hope it works. It might be easier to see. Uh, so let's do text red 50 and see if that works. Actually, yeah, let's do 800. See if it works. So that's for tasks. So it didn't work. Clearly there is, I don't know if it's because they're conflicting, but let me remove this and see if it will make a difference. No difference. Why? So let's debug. Let's see why. Uh,
Hello, Martin.
mhm.
How about when you change the class to class name? Like instead of class, make it class name. The comment casing.
Okay. Okay. And then
And then that is a small c class, small c.
okay. Thank you. Let's see if there's a difference. None. Because looking at the documentation here, if you look at this example, it's just class. I don't know if this page, let me zoom in a little bit. It shows that it's just class and then that the class. Okay, let's keep debugging.
Is it just a thought?
Mm-hmm.
Could it be that the class inside the main div, the sidebar class, is overriding it?
Oh,
The,
this one?
the sidebar class inside the main div.
So
I'm
we
not
have
sure
this
how.
div
Yeah, that one. It has
and
a class called sidebar.
yes, there is a sidebar, yes. But
Could it be that it has maybe something related to color spacing?
actually, you know what? The best way to do this is not
Yeah.
necessarily to change. what was already there, what we could do is we could add our
Mm,
own element and then test it out, right?
Okay.
So let's add a what let's do a simple paragraph and say testing, and then this is just to confirm that it's working. Uh, and I am not even seeing the changes in the, so there's no change in, okay, let me add another anchor tag and let's see. So it's not changing.
could you try maybe running it again, fresh?
Okay, okay. So I
Maybe,
restart. Okay,
yeah.
okay. And then let's refresh. So let me duplicate this last one. Should have two histories, and it doesn't. So clearly uh, it's not running as it's supposed to. Interesting. What could be the problem? Oh, here's testing. But where's the additional history? I don't know why it's showing it now, like this testing thing. Sorry. So this okay, let me add 1, 2, 3 just so that I know it's actually that. Um, I don't think it's refreshing every time we, so let me just stop it and start again. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. It's not auto refreshing. So now you see we have the additional history and we also have the testing 1, 2, 3. It's not listening to the, so what we need to do is just separate concerns. So in this case, now package.json, let's run this in a different terminal for the CSS, and then let's run Flask, like run our app separately. So let me just do it and then you guys will see what I mean. So let's do Flask no, Python run.py as we usually do. So that when I do history, 1, 2, 3, um, still, yeah, at least I can just refresh and. So let me add 4, 5, 6. and then refresh. See, did I? It's not, still not as responsive. Okay, let's see. Now the change is there. So there's a problem with um, it being responsive, but you guys can see like there's a lag in the changes, but it's still showing. Let me try this other link because we had two. Um, not sure what this is going to. Yeah, it's still the same thing. Let me see if it'll be any different. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, still the same lag. Like I don't. I think we'll have to keep stopping and then starting. I'll see what I can do to fix that. But for now, um, we have to. Wait, why is debug off? I think I know why. Um, sorry guys, I'm sorry for that. I'm just a bit frustrated with this, but it should be. There's a chance it might get fixed. So now it is debugging. I hope that will kind of help with the changes. Let me try again. So 4, 5, 6. Let's see if it'll have any. Yeah, and then let me remove it now. Just keep the exclamation. Good. We're good. We're good, guys. So it was just because we hadn't put debugging on. That's why. Apologies for that. Ah, I can actually hear the claps. That's nice. I hadn't tried that before. So now let's test our Tailwind and see if it's working. We said we would use this testing 1, 2, 3 class. We wanted, what did we want to test again? Wanted to add the color, I think. So text red, I guess. So text red, and then let's pick 700. So let's see. It didn't work, unfortunately. It's still the same. Let's see. Oh, my bad. I only did Flask run, which was, man, I'm doing too much. I didn't start this dev CSS. I didn't do that. So let me do the npm uh, run dev, which will start both the Flask app as well as Tailwind. Yeah. So now we have this as well as this. Let's try again and see. Yes, yes. So it's working. Now let's play with it a little bit, right? Noella, you mentioned padding. Let's add some padding to our side menu. So first things first, let me remove this extra. And then I don't know if we can keep the original CSS. Let me not change anything there, but let me add. So padding at the Y axis, and then let's do 20 just to see. So it didn't change. Let's remove this. Maybe that's affecting it. So let's see if it will change. It did not. Oh, actually, let's see if we put it a level above. Not even a level above. Here, it should be this level. Let's do 50. Yeah, it's not working. Okay, before we go to that, let's try and see if we can change the color because we've done the color and it worked. Let's just see if it'll work in this case. We'll figure it out. So let's see if it took that. It did not. So I'm guessing the issue is the fact that we are using the other CSS styling.
Yeah.
And maybe it's being given priority because if it's working here where we don't have the other CSS, then it means that could be the case. Let me see if I can do something a bit drastic to make it work. Let me move.
Comment.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing that. And then I know the page is going to be so ugly. Uh, I'm guessing it's been cached. Let me restart it. Okay. Uh, let's go and see. So it's still not working. Interesting. I'll have to do a bit more research and see why, but I'm really speculating that it's because we already had, sorry, we already had uh, our styles initially, excuse me, and now let's let me restart this. Yeah, I think that's the case. Oh wait, it's red. Can you guys see it? Do you see it?
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's red. Okay, let me do the what's the name? The padding thing. So let's try and actually this was the padding for all of the tasks and not the individual ones. So let me do between this one and the next one so that the tasks this will be so far away from categories. guess padding is not the right. Okay, let me do yellow or green, and then 500. Just to confirm, and then let's also do class text green 500. I think I need to restart this again. This was insane. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. Yeah, it's changed. So it is working. It's just it needs to be refreshed all the time. I'm pretty sure there's a way to allow it to allow us not to keep restarting every time. So what else do you guys want us to try? But at least it's working. It's not working perfectly. We can look at the issues and how to fix it, but it is technically it's working. Technically,
Mhm.
yeah. Do you guys want to us to try doing something else? I know we're supposed to um change the margin, the padding. Sorry. Oh wait, the padding is within. It's not okay. Let me do uh, margin of. Is there any change really? Let's see it. Okay, I don't see it. I think I might have to restart. Anyway, any questions? Because I know we've done a couple of different things. Still not working. Any questions?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm using VS Code, do I need to have any extension in order to run the virtual environment?
No, no, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you have to
Um,
have. So what you do is, yeah, you could just create the. No, you need to have at least Python installed because you're doing
okay,
Python dash m, which is make, and then virtual environment, and then the name of the virtual environment.
okay.
Mhm.
And then another one is on Docker.
Yeah.
Which environment are you using? Are you using like Ubuntu to link Docker to your VS Code? Okay, I haven't worked with Docker before.
Yes.
There was a time I was trying to link it up using WSL,
Mhm.
but it was not successful. So
Okay. So for you to
I was
have,
wondering
oh, so
you are.
please finish your question. Yeah, please finish.
Yeah, so I was wondering how you linked your Docker to the projects.
Okay, good question. So one first thing you need this YAML file. This just specifies what the image is, what the name of your container is going to be called. If restarting, it will always be restarting. And the password, remember all of this. This password for root password, the database user, all this is it's in the .env file. So I will
Okay.
gray it out anyway in the video, but it's here. It's So you see this root password, this one, this is the
Yeah.
database, this is the user, the password. So that's going to align with this. It's going to yeah. And then this is the port that it's going to access it on, 3306, and then the volume. So inside the container, it's going to be accessed, data is going to be available here, and then outside of it, it's going to be available here. And then,
Okay.
so what you do is install Docker, the desktop application. So in my
Okay.
case, this is it. Let me show you this. This is how it looks like for me. I am using a Mac um, MacBook.
Okay, I have it too.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So you make sure that it's up and running, and then do Docker compose -d. Let me just get the exact command. Um, yes. So Docker compose up -d. So D means detached, meaning it can just run in the background. So
Oh,
this is the command. We share it here. This one. This one.
okay. Okay.
So let me copy it into the chat. So you can copy, you can find it in the chat.
Thank you.
So once you do that, it's going to run the Docker container here. Let me show you now. So it's going to run it. So this is the name of the container. Actually, this is the name of the container. Ongea MySQL. This one. And you can see it's here.
Okay.
And then you can see the image that it's using. We had it use MySQL version 8.0, which is exactly this one. And then the port, you can see it's mapping from in the container itself, 3306. It's mapping to outside, which is now on our machine at port 3306. So we can see it at 3306.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Are
Just to
you?
confirm that I've understood, like I need to install Docker and then I
Mhm.
run the Docker command that you've shared on the terminal.
Yes. So the command exactly. You will run the command here. So let me do this. Let me stop this. So if you have the UI like this, you can run it from here. But I guess it's because I've run it before. But let's assume in your case, you're starting afresh. So we'll do Docker
Mm-hmm.
compose up and then D. So what it'll
Okay.
do in this folder, which is on your task folder, it'll look for docker.compose YAML file. And then if you look at our Docker, now you can see it started 12 seconds ago. So that's what it's going to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when I pull the repo from GitHub, will I
Mhm.
get the docker.yml file by
Yes.
default?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me show you how the repo looks like. That's a good question actually. Um, is this the one? It's not that. Sorry. Okay. Let me look for the GitHub. I have so many tabs open. I found it. So this is our this is our repository. Let me enlarge it. So this is what we have. What you will do, you will,
Mhm.
let's go to the README. You will create your virtual environment first. So if you're on Windows, so first of all, you can create your um, folder first, and then go to that folder and then create a virtual environment. Or you can actually clone. You can clone this and then create a virtual environment. Anyway, so these are the commands. Python 3, make a virtual environment called virtual environment. And then if you're on Windows, you will use this to activate. If you're on Linux or Mac, you will use this to activate it. And then if you had already cloned the repo, like the way we started, like if you remember when we started the code, it was a freshly cloned repo. I didn't have anything on it.
Mhm.
And then I created the virtual environment. So you can set whichever. Anyway, so next thing you
Okay.
need to install the requirements. Requirements mean, in this case, all the libraries that we have. So in our case, we have Flask, we have SQL Alchemy, we have my MySQL, we have .env, all of these libraries we need for ensuring that you have the exact same uh, libraries with the exact same version. Like all of us have the same thing. Um,
Okay.
and then we come to the .env file. So you need to have this, as well as these additional things, which are this is the credentials for the um, Docker compose this YAML file. And the reason why we put it like this is this one, when we are pushing our code to GitHub, we are
Mhm.
also going to store this. And we don't want to store our passwords.
Mhm.
But remember, this one is going to be ignored. So if you look at our .ignore file, .env is going to be ignored. So whatever is here is cool. So this is for a database URL. So you can have it this way. You can have it's these credentials in a URL format. So if you look at
Okay.
this, this is just the user. This is the password. This is the port, and this is the DB name. So we put it this way so that when you're starting the application, when you're initializing it here, you can just use the DB URL. This makes life a little bit easier. Okay,
Mhm.
and then we have this one. So these details were provided by Edwin. He was working on when if you have forgotten your password and you want to reset it, you get an email to reset it. And he used his email, this email, to allow you to. So this email is what is going to send you the email to your account to reset your password. I hope I'm correct, Edwin. If I'm wrong, please interject and just let me know if it's wrong or not. But this is what it's doing. I hope that's okay, Edwin.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Great. So that is it. So the only thing you need that's a little bit different is that we haven't added is the env file. So you need to have the same env file like the one I've shared so that it runs smoothly. And then you can use
Okay.
Flask run, but I don't know why it's not working. I'll look into that. You can still use python run.py. So you're just telling Python to run this file, run.py file, and then this file will call the init file, and then it will start the application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is perfect.
Okay.
I think I'm good. In case of anything, I'll reach out to you guys.
Okay. Any other question? Any other? So you guys are good? So templates, because I have started talking about the repository. So templates are just the templates, and we're using Ginger templates for our front end. So you'll see you'll be very familiar with it if you're familiar with HTML, because it's going to use HTML, and in our case now we want to use Tailwind for styling. And then JavaScript is going to be stored here in, should be in static. Do you have any JavaScript really? We should. It should be under static. Anyway, I guess right now we don't have any. And then you need this gitignore file. You can ask ChatGPT to just create a gitignore file for a Flask application that uses Tailwind, and it will do that. That's it, I guess. If you have any other questions, just let me know. But we need to go through the designs. I don't know if you guys have time, because I know we're 3 hours in, and we usually do 3 hours. Are you guys tired? And I didn't even give you guys a break, and I'm so sorry. But do you want us to continue with the designs, or will you leave it till next week? Because I can quickly go through them.
I think we should do it next
Well,
week.
Sorry?
Anything next week
I
is
was saying I
fine.
have. Sorry.
Okay, ladies first, Abby.
Okay,
That's
I was
okay.
saying I have work in like 30 minutes, so
Oh,
we
okay.
can do it next week. It's fine.
Okay, cool. Edwin,
Yeah, next week.
next week. Okay. So, but in the meantime, I have given you guys access, I believe. Let me just confirm. Um, I'm telling you, this new update is just insane. Everything is so different right now. I don't even know how to get to my apps anymore. It's like I have to go to applications and then, okay, sorry. Um, so this is yes, here it is. This is the Figma file. So if you don't have access to this Figma file, please reach out to me and then I'll give you access. Otherwise, we should stop here. But this is what we are going to change, make changes to, so that our designs are using best practice, and yeah, all those things that I mentioned today. Any questions before we break, before we leave? Um, questions, comment, you know, anything really.
I'm okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hello, Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm new to this group.
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I was unable to check through this week's task. I was actually logging on Discord today. I'm sorry for this, and I happened to have gone through one of my mails, and so the email that is sent for this particular meeting, actually to the classroom platform,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to the Discord link,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe to probably give
Sorry, you're breaking up.
development. I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah.
I'm saying I've seen a series of development since the year began, that is January. So does this mean you've been learning since January?
I think it was in March that was it in March or during the summer? So in March we started with data structures and algorithms, and then during the summer, in around May, June, is when we started the project, and then we just did it for I think 3 months.
Okay, so you built it from scratch, right?
Yes, from scratch. Yes.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do to make it better for you guys is I will assign one-to-one peer advisors or mentoring. So I want each one of you between Abby, Edwin, and Faith, pick one person who you're going to be responsible for to make sure that they have everything up and running so that we are all on the same page. So if it's with regards to setting up their project, getting access to Figma, FigJam, the classrooms, understanding how we do assignments, our meetings, and all that. So I think that would be easier than um, doing it another way. So please pick one person, each of you, before I know Abby needs to leave. So Abby, if you could start, just pick one person who you'll be mentoring or supporting in this case, and then until we get to the same, you're on the same level, all of us.
I picked Nala.
Okay. Noella, I hope that's okay.
With me.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Okay, great. So Noella, Abby, you guys will organize for your own, like if you want to meet separately or you want to create a channel, you can create a channel on the side, help each other out. If you have any questions, go to Abby first, and then if you guys can't figure it out, then reach out to me. uh Faith, pick someone.
Martin.
Okay, Martin, you work with Faith. Faith will help you get on board. um are you okay with that, Martin? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great, Tom. I appreciate it.
Okay, cool. Okay, Edwin, by default. Mohammed, I hope that's okay with you, Edwin.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, Mohammed, is that okay with you as well?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, great. So please help each other out during the week. By the time we meet again next week, I'll have figured out why the Tailwind thing isn't working as ideally as it's supposed to. And also I'll have shared my ideas on the AI feature that I have in mind. So with the same group, we are going to go through the figuring out the prototype. I will assign it accordingly as an assignment for the week. So I guess we can end there, not unless someone has a question.
Any more questions from me?
Okay, great. So have a good one. Sorry for taking too long, but usually this is how long we do, 2 to 3 hours. So apologies if apologies I didn't give you guys a break in between. I usually try and do that. If I don't remember next time, please just stop me and be like, I need 10 minutes, I need 15 minutes, and then we can take a break because I know it's a lot to take in at once. I'll try and put as much as possible, like everything that we did today, and then share it as an announcement in the Google Classroom. Otherwise, have a good weekend and rest of the week, and happy coding.
Have a good one.
Happy coding. Thank
You
you.
too. Bye bye.
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 Bye, guys.